How's it going?
It's going great. How about with you, Sparkle?
It's going well, you guys, and all of our fans. Happy Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
And welcome to Every Child Can Learn. We halfway there, Angel. Okay.
Okay.
Now, Every Child Can Learn is the series that enlightens, encourages, and empowers parents, teachers, and schools to reimagine equity in education and
Mm.
make learning simple and accessible for children of all abilities. Now, you may be thinking, how are we going to change after 100 years of doing the same thing?
The same thing.
The
Mm.
same thing. Mhm. Well, the answer is progressive education. So, progressive education is about moving away from a top down authoritarian approach and prioritizing agency, autonomy, student voice, choice, mental health, and well being, as well as 21st century life skills such as creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking.
Mm.
Taking inspiration from models outside of the conventional school system, as well as innovations taking place within mainstream. Now, if that sounds good to you, does it sound good to you, Angel?
It does. Yeah.
Let's get started. Now, we highly recommend that you tune into our next episodes because we're sharing the 15 progressive education strategies to disrupt our system that has not served the students and parents that want education reimagined. So, if this is your first time tuning into our show, welcome. My name is Sparkle Lindsay, and I'm with my friend and co host, Angela Lee. So, how is it going over there in New Mexico?
Ah, it is a beautiful state to live in. And today it's cold.
Yeah, yes. Well, Angel, tell our students, parents, and teachers how Microsoft Copilot is reimagining education, making learning simple and exciting for students.
This is really exciting, Sparkle.
Yes.
Microsoft Education, excuse me, Copilot has an immersive reader and digital learning tools that are powerful solutions integrated into products that we already know. Copilot has solutions for education that can help students catch up, keep up, and get ahead with learning accelerators that enables teachers to create safe and supportive learning environments that
Right.
are inclusive, and students are engaged with insights that ensure they are set up for success.
Mm.
Copilot will increase reading speed and comprehension for all learners, support students with learning differences like dyslexia with text decoding solutions.
Mm.
I know. And help emerging readers build confidence with the Microsoft Immersive Reader. Ooh, I can just imagine
Right.
an immersive reader with my children's books. It would be super
Right.
fun. With features like dictation and editor, students can conquer the blank page using the power of their voice and strengthen their writing with advanced editing suggestions. It is to help students and their guardians understand and access important information with digital learning tools like Translator, live captions, and subtitles in PowerPoint.
Yes.
Let's take a sneak preview on how Microsoft Pilot is reimagining education. Just wow. AI integration into everything. I
I
love it.
feel like I feel like I just seen something so magical. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's do this. I want the co-pilot right now.
Right. I can't wait till it integrates with like our streaming program so that
Right,
we could just tell it, hey, change my lighting so that
right. Change my lighting, please. Oh goodness.
so Sparkle, March is Developmental Disability Awareness Month.
Mhm.
And it's also Women's History Month. Who
Yes.
are we honoring that was an advocate for the blind?
Well, we're honoring the late Helen Adams Keller, author,
Hmm.
disability rights advocate, and lecturer. Now, she lost her sight and her hearing after a bout of illness when she was 19 months old. She communicated primarily using home signs until the age of 7. Now, when she met her first teacher and lifelong companion, Anne Sullivan, Anne taught Keller language, including reading and writing. After an education at both specialist and mainstream schools, she attended Radcliffe College at Harvard University and became the first deafblind person in the United States to earn a Bachelor of Arts degree. Now, Helen was a prolific author, writing 14 books and hundreds of speeches and essays on topics ranging from animals to Mahatma Gandhi. She campaigned for those with disabilities for women's suffrage, labor rights, and world peace. And
Hmm.
in 1909, she joined the Socialist Party of America and was a founding member of the American Civil Liberties Union. Now, Helen Keller autobiography, The Story of My Life, 1903, publicized her education and life with Sullivan. It was adapted as a play by William Gibson, and this was adapted as a film, The Miracle Worker. Her birthplace has been designated and preserved as a National Historic Landmark. Let's go ahead and watch her bio video.
Helen Keller is known around the world as a symbol of courage in the face of overwhelming odds.
Helen Keller was so important to changing the attitudes all over the world toward handicapped people, but in particular, blind people and deaf and blind people.
Helen Adams Keller was born with full sight and hearing on June 27, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Yet at 19 months, she was stricken with what at the time was called brain fever and was left both blind and deaf.
Helen was a very privileged little girl. Her parents were quite wealthy, and her mother in particular was very intelligent and very well read, and she contacted the Perkins School for the Blind and managed to get help in the form of Anne Sullivan Macy, the now very famous teacher of Helen Keller.
Anne Sullivan began working with fingerspelling and other ways of trying to communicate with very little success until one moment, the aha moment came. It hit Anne to take Helen out to the water pump, and she hand pumped the water and let the cold water flow through Helen's one hand while she fingerspelled W-A-T-E-R in the other hand. Everything just came together for Helen and for Anne, and all of a sudden the behavioral problems disappeared and they started fingerspelling, and they managed to develop 30 different new words by the end of that first day, and they were on their way.
By age 10, Helen Keller had mastered Braille as well as the manual alphabet. She also learned to use a typewriter. By age 16, Keller could speak well enough to go to preparatory school. And by age 24, she had graduated from Radcliffe College cum laude.
She is the first deafblind person to graduate from a college. She graduated in 1904. Anne Sullivan Macy, her brilliant teacher, had to manually sign every single lesson into her hand.
When Helen was still in college, she wrote her first book, her biography. From that, she began writing other articles and speaking. And because of her deafblindness, people would pay attention in a way that they didn't to other people, perhaps. And she used that to advocate for not just disability issues, but political and social issues, including women's suffrage, birth control, and other issues as well.
Helen Keller was famous from the age of 8, but her celebrity increased as she championed the cause of those with disabilities internationally.
During the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, she traveled the world, 39 countries, bringing hope and courage to millions of people. She changed the perception of people with vision loss. Rehabilitation centers and schools for the blind were established because of her visits.
In the late 50s and early 60s, Helen's life story was brought to the masses with The Miracle Worker. First as a TV movie, then a Broadway show, and finally an Oscar-winning movie.
She knew everybody from Alexander Graham Bell to Lyndon B. Johnson. And she was brilliant at leveraging all the people that she knew for help to change the lives of those with vision loss.
Helen Keller lobbied on behalf of the American Federation for the Blind for 44 years. She died in her sleep on June 1st, 1968, just weeks away from her 88th birthday.
Helen Keller will be remembered for really transforming the view of the blind and others with disabilities. Prior to her life, people with disabilities were seen as people who did not deserve to live full lives. And Helen Keller's activism, her life story, really challenged the stereotype and said that people with disabilities can live a full and complete life.
Wow. Angel, what are your thoughts about Helen Keller and the legacy she left for people of all abilities to learn how to read Braille and live independently? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that she was really on the forefront of this movement that I see now, where we are striving to see disabilities not as a disability, but instead as, okay, here's one area where you're challenged, but there's another area where you have great strength. And so I think she was like the first example of that. She was a trailblazer.
I mean, I think it's astonishing. I think that oftentimes we want to place people in what we feel they can't do instead of actually sitting back and consuming what they can do.
Yeah. And for me, it's about seeing the person rather than the label or the disease.
Well, it is so beautiful because of her pioneering and making these things happen. It has just been beautiful for just people in general, like knowing that if you lose your sight or whatever, that it is possible, right? Just
Right.
point blank. So now, Angel, in the month of March, we are sharing the progressive education approach to reimagining education.
Yeah.
They have 15 steps that outline what schools can do to change our school system. So what did we cover?
Well, what we covered is creativity and innovation, prioritizing mental health and well-being, which I'm all about, practicing democracy and mutual respect between the staff and the pupils, value-directed self-education, value creativity and innovation, and prioritize mental health and prioritize mental health and well-being, practice democracy and mutual respect between staff and pupils, and value broadening the national curriculum. On today's show, we will discuss reducing the amount of time spent in school, enhancing teacher training to equip teachers to do their job, and reduce class sizes. We'll also touch on facilitating parent-teacher collaboration. And each one of these suggestions is imperative.
Yes, definitely. I'm very excited to jump into a lot of these particular ones for sure. And during our break, we're going to hear about a school in Austin, Texas that is using AI to teach their students. They use AI as a tool, not a threat to teachers, though. Now, remember, Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, which is an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. And if you want to produce a franchise show on TWN, we provide the media, network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce that franchise show. So for more info, visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com. We'll be back.
As artificial intelligence tools like online chatbots become more prevalent, some schools are figuring out how to bring those tools into the classroom.
One private school in Austin isn't just letting students use those tools, it's relying on them to teach core subjects. KVU's Darrenisha Heron explains.
A school with no teachers? It sounds like a nightmare, but Mackenzie Price, the co-founder of Alpha Private School, says it's actually the wave of the future.
What we do have is a lot of adults who are in the room engaging with these kids, working as coaches. So they're helping the kids get clear on what are some goals that they're working on? What are they doing academically?
So how do they learn? The students work one-on-one with artificial intelligence for 2 hours at the start of the day.
So it's the educational information that regular schools are also teaching with, but AI apps are feeding them to students at the appropriate level and pace that they need.
It goes as far as historical figures explaining their own histories.
We believe that education should adapt to every student's unique needs and interests.
To basic comprehension quizzes. Fifth grader Byron loves the instant feedback, which he says he didn't get in public school.
It explains a detailed explanation of why the correct answer is correct, not just saying, oh, here's your correct answer. You can answer the question this way next time.
Price says the lessons are customized for every student.
We can say, provide reading material at this certain lexile level, which is 8th grade, but appropriate for a 7-year-old kid.
So I think it's making me actually learn things, not just looking at things I've already seen.
This style of learning goes from 12th grade down to kindergarten.
Did you meet your 2-hour learning goal today?
Yes.
Yes! Can everyone do some silent fireworks for Lola?
They learn more than twice as much as standard school does in 6 hours.
The other 6 hours of the day are set aside for learning life skills. Like this 3rd grader putting together an IKEA drawer in an hour, or 11-year-olds writing and submitting college admission essays.
They don't know our age, so they're gonna let us know if he would accept us into the school and if he wouldn't. If he says yes, or she, we will get a check.
All things that some schools may feel hesitant to embrace, but Price believes will become the new norm in modern schools. In Austin, I'm Darrenisha Heron for KVU News.
Well, welcome back to Every Child Can Learn. We're having a conversation on the progressive approach to reimagining education. So we can all agree that our world is evolving at an unprecedented pace and is driven by technological advancements and societal changes. So to prepare students for success outside the classroom, it is essential that our education system fosters creativity and innovation.
Yeah.
Now, by imparting these particular skills to students, they become better equipped to adapt to the challenges and opportunities of a rapidly changing world. An educational system that celebrates creativity promotes an environment where innovation thrives, right?
So true. So true. Our next progressive education strategy is broaden national curriculum. A national curriculum is a common program of study in schools that is designed to ensure nationwide uniformity of content and standards in education. Many educationalists believe that a standard curriculum reduces the diversity of skills and knowledge that a child can learn. Psychologist Dr. Peter Gray describes this as one of the 7 sins of the way our education system works. And here are the 7. So 1, work from your principles. Make sure your school principles reflect your vision for a broad and balanced curriculum. If you make this clear and can articulate your intent, everything else can build from it. Number 2, exploit the potential of firsthand learning experiences. Firsthand learning experiences, or memorable experiences, can help provide a broad and balanced curriculum. For example, visit an insect house to study mini beasts. It will cover aspects of science, technology, SMSC, geography, and literacy. Offering such rich experiences throughout the year gives plenty of opportunity for breadth and balance across your curriculum.
And I was just gonna say, I'm already starting to see where these are going, which I really like. It's
Yeah.
creating the balance and the hands-on at the same time, right? Is
Well,
that
it's a rich learning environment.
right?
My son's sixth grade teacher taught mathematics through rockets.
Right.
So they launched rockets. It was a visceral experience for them, and they learned math associated with that.
And,
So, yeah.
and see, I think that I would like I didn't learn that way in school, but it would have been really cool to learn that way in school because I'm a visionary and I like interaction and I remember stuff by the things that I seen and I did.
Right, and it's the doing sometimes that
Yes.
is the way to get to a kid.
Yes.
So let's move on to number 3. Consider your long-term planning. When planning for the long term, make sure you have a spread of focused subjects for topics and projects. For example, over a course of a year, you might include 2 history-focused topics, 1 geography-focused topic, 1 art and design-focused topic, and maybe 2 science-focused topics. This doesn't mean you just do these subjects, but that you give a broad menu of subjects across the year.
Right.
And number 4, be creative with your medium-term planning. You know me, I love creativity.
Yes.
Make sure that your medium-term plans include coverage and content for all curriculum subjects, even if some take more priority than others. Medium-term plans are in the place where you can begin to be creative and make meaningful links across subjects. For example, in a science-focused project, you can aim to include a range of content from other subjects, making links in meaningful ways. So, like that rocket math, science and math,
Right.
linking them together.
Mm-hmm.
With my children's books, I say that you immerse in a story, but you're also learning emotions. And
Right. Hmm. Yes.
so the last one, or number 5, last one for me, is plan for English and math across the curriculum. Make sure you plan for English and math across your entire curriculum, looking for opportunities to use and apply both subject skills in foundational subjects. Calculating pulse rates in PE or retelling a myth or legend using narrative techniques in history.
Yes, I think that those 5 are great. And then retelling a myth or a legend using narrative techniques in history, right?
You know, I have learned more about history by reading literature than I ever did in a history book.
And I was doing this tour, Angela, in Washington D.C., and the tour guide that we had really created the history by telling us a story. And it was so
Beautiful.
cool. Like just like saying, how did this person feel while they were there? Like actually having us feel what they felt like back then in their shoes, right?
Lovely.
It was very awesome. I loved the way it was done.
Yeah.
So, number 6, you guys, is be innovative with your timetable. Now, of course, there are some subjects which require set times in the school week, like PE or ICT, but other periods of the timetable can be more flexible. So don't set them as history, geography, and so on. Set them as topic or foundation subjects. This will give you more flexibility when planning what you need to teach over the course term. Another thing, number 7, make a place in the year for specialist curriculum weeks. Where your curriculum lacks balance in any one subject, use specialist weeks to boost the coverage. Now, science, arts, and technology weeks are already popular, but this approach could apply to other subjects, including geography, history, and PE. Now, remember, keep track of your curriculum coverage, right? This can be done using simple tips and tricks or a list, or by using more effective online schools, such as the coverage checkers on our online platform, Curriculum Maestro. This enables schools to check the breadth and balance of their curriculum at the click of a button, as well as providing evidence for external visitors such as Estein or Ofsted. And then assess the foundation subjects as well as the core. It's important that all subjects have status within the curriculum. English and math should be assessed in more depth and more frequently, but not exclusively. Do your research, y'all, okay? To convince others of the benefits of cross-curricular learning and a broad and balanced curriculum, make sure you are armed with information and evidence. If you're going to have to argue your case, then you'd better know your stuff, right? So as we take a look at these source materials and really get yourself, involved in it. One of the things that came to mind for me is the pioneering of being a recovery coach, professional facilitator, and training coaches to be great coaches. That's what I do. And the curriculum is very heavy, but the curriculum lets people imagine what they need to within the different subjects of it. And also, it helps people to create their own recovery packages. For me, close to 5 years in recovery, I have found that with that curriculum, it supported me, but it also helped me understand that I could think outside the box and create new things for myself. I believe that this is the way we are reimagining education across the globe, even if we're not in schools. So it's definitely becoming a big thing. You know what I mean?
I agree. And one of the things that struck me about this list of 10 ways to check into your curriculum is this marriage of, a story, maybe literature and history, or rockets and math. And what you're doing is creating a very rich environment where kids can see, hear, and do. And that makes it so much better.
And Angela, how fun is it to learn, but not really realize you're even learning because you are having so much fun learning it?
That's the best.
Right? You don't feel like you're in school. You're just like, dang, it didn't even feel like school today, but I learned so much and I feel so whole, right? That's what this is. I love it.
Yeah, this is great stuff. So during our break, we will hear from Baldwin Academy. They use AI to teach students how to read, and that's exciting. Yes. They use AI as a tool, not as a game for students. So we all know Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce your own franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, visit our website.
The AI app that is helping students read better.
This guy, Rich Jamuro, explains in today's TechSmart. And Rich, let me just say this right off the bat. One of my daughters who goes to UC Santa Barbara, right? They have had to put out, and I think a lot of colleges have done that. They put out warnings. Do not use AI. We have tools to check for it. But in this case, it's not that.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of warnings about AI and its use. And of course, we're still figuring out exactly how it's going to be used by students. But this is a good use of it.
Okay.
This is learning to read, all thanks to AI. We know that learning to become a better reader is a fundamental part of the education process, but now AI making it easier.
Okay, class, go ahead and open up Reading Coach.
Students at Baldwin Academy in La Puente are learning at the speed of AI.
She learned how to fly spacecraft. Some were breathing fire. Watched as the Queen organized.
They're using a new tool called Microsoft Reading Coach.
It's very different from any other thing because you use AI.
I usually choose like the main character as a cat. It just helps my fluency in talking and reading.
It helps you understand words that sometimes you don't know how to pronounce.
The students, part of a pilot to see how the tool could benefit classrooms.
We're always looking for those opportunities on how to best provide an engaging learning experience for our students, where we leverage digital technology to help our students accelerate their learning.
Reading Coach starts by asking students to pick a main character, setting, and a reading level. AI generates a custom story on the fly, listens to them read it, and scores their proficiency, highlighting words they had trouble with. It then builds those words into a new story for extra practice.
He had been practicing for months today and search for your acorn.
It's just really engaging, and that's really important at this age, at any age really.
5th grade teacher Anna Ruiz says she likes the web-based app because it's easy to use and helps her gauge each student's reading proficiency faster than ever.
All I have to do is look over their shoulder and I can see where they're at, who needs the help.
And the research on reading is really clear. What's important is that students read more. It doesn't matter what they read, it matters how much they read. Students who read more are better readers, and better readers do better across all of the curriculum.
The free tool is now available to everyone at coach.microsoft.com. The AI carefully crafted to be safe for students.
So it has a lot of guardrails and is really built with Microsoft's promise of responsible AI.
So fun to visit that school. Microsoft Reading Coach is a free tool available to anyone on various platforms, and yes, you can use it at home. Keep in mind this is in beta, and you will need a free Microsoft account to use it. If you want a link, you can go to my website.
Well, that was exciting. Welcome back to Every Child Can Learn. If you're just tuning into the classroom, we're talking about progressive education and how we need to make changes in our educational system so that our kids can thrive. We discussed the progressive strategy of children creating an environment for creativity and innovations in classrooms. And we had also discussed practicing democracy and mutual respect between staff and pupils. Let's pivot to the next 3 strategies.
Yes.
Let's watch this video on how we can reduce classroom sizes, enhance teacher training, and have shorter school days by using AI as a teaching tool.
What will a world with artificial intelligence be like? Just look around you. AI isn't the future, it's here now. While only 33% of people think they're using AI, nearly 77% already are. AI recommends the right movies to watch, stops criminals from using our credit cards, and interprets what we mean to say when we talk into our smart speakers. Today's students are the first generation to grow up with AI. Artificial intelligence can already do many things that once only humans could do, like reasoning, adapting, recognizing patterns, and solving complex problems. By 2025, AI will take over more than half of all current work tasks. Employees in every industry will soon work side by side with smart machines to become more efficient and productive. And AI has the power to help us solve some of our biggest problems, like climate change, education inequality, and improving global health. But who will decide which problems AI should solve? How will we ensure our AI systems are ethical and fair? Who will decide whether AI works for us or we work for it? Our ability to answer these questions will determine the quality of our future lives. To design an AI-powered world we will actually want to live in, today's students must know how to do more than just use AI. They need to know how to harness it to create solutions that will improve lives. This won't happen on its own. Teachers are the most important link to developing the new generation of AI-savvy learners, workers, and leaders. Across the globe, students and teachers are beginning to learn about AI together. They're exploring the capabilities of existing AI tools, building their own applications, and considering what rules are needed to keep us safe. They're also learning that the more AI can perform transactional tasks, and more important are uniquely human skills like empathy, creativity, and critical thinking will become. AI is already here, and our students need to be ready. By learning to create with AI, today's students will change the world in ways we can't yet imagine. Are you ready to help students create the kind of AI-enabled world we will all want to live in? Are you ready to teach the future?
I'm ready. Well, and Angela, let's talk about mental health, or rather the mental Olympics that come with longer school hours.
Oh boy, yeah.
Man, so burnout becomes a common theme, turning minds into mush faster than microwave popcorn. I like
Minds into mush.
It's my jam, okay? I don't know about the mush part though, right?
Right.
So less sleep than a caffeinated owl doesn't make for happy test scores or enthusiastic students. So
True.
you know the saying, an extra hour of sleep can turn a zombie-like morning into a refreshed and energized day at school. So shortening school days isn't just a lighthearted idea, it's a chance to give teachers mental health a high five.
Yeah.
According to a study by the American Academy of Pediatrics, shorter class times could also have positive effects on students' health, such as lower obesity rates, better sleep quality, and fewer mental health issues. Now, one of the arguments in favor of shorter school days is that they could increase the efficiency and effectiveness of instructional time, as teachers and students would be more focused and motivated during the limited hours of class. Now, it could also reduce the associated cost of childcare. So, Angel, your thoughts on this? This is a big one.
Oh, well, I remember even like me, I would have to be at school by 8 a.m. And in high school, that was hard because I don't want to move before 8:30.
Yes.
And I remember taking my kids to middle school at 7:30 in the morning.
Oh my
It's like
God.
a ridiculous load on them.
Mhm.
So I believe that this is something, on one of our prior shows, we talked about how our education model was built to support training factory workers, people who would just show up, listen, do what they're supposed to do, and then go home.
Mhm.
And that model needs to change
Yes.
because today's workers have a lot more to do than that.
I mean, I can tell you this, okay? I now work for myself, right? So I
Mhm.
wake up when I want to wake up. I plan my schedule the way I want to. I feel refreshed. I've been sober because of it. I feel like I can breathe, I can move, I can create, I can innovate, I can be Sparkle Lindsay.
Oh,
And
so nice.
I was younger. When I was younger, I would put pressure on myself to get to school in time. I graduated a 4.2 GPA, but I believe a lot of that stress and a lot of that mental anxiety I had to get there on time, to make sure I did things right, the OCD really, really put a damper on my mental health. And it also made me want to drink more, want to use.
Exactly. You wanted to escape the
To
stress
escape and mask
through.
how I was really feeling. And so I think that it's great. Like training courses, I've noticed that when I run 8-hour courses for my particular, coaches, they are exhausted by the end of the day. And so am I. When I run 4-hour courses throughout the week, just 4-hour increments, they are so fresh. They are paying attention and they have wonderful responses. And I get a little bit more activity from them than I would for those long, long days,
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the benefits of shorter school days are not only academic, but also social and emotional, as we just touched on.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 advantages of shorter school days for students. Number 1 is enhanced focus. Shorter school days can lead to increased focus during class.
Yes.
Students may find it easier to pay attention and engage in lessons when they don't have the mental fatigue associated with long school days. This could in turn improve their overall academic performance. And the next one is so important: lower stress levels.
Man.
Lengthy school days often can contribute to stress and burnout among students due to the continuous pressure of study.
Right.
Reducing school hours can help alleviate this stress, leading to a healthier and more balanced lifestyle for students. And as we touched on, that stress through alcohol. And I don't know if school organizations have considered how much stress they're putting on kids and what behavior is the result of that.
Yes. I believe now, Angel, I actually do a recovery coaching program for young people now.
Yeah.
And, they have started incorporating it into schools, and also young people nonprofits. And the reason why is because young people deserve to have a brand in sobriety and in their own thinking process as well. But it also has helped them, this particular curriculum has helped them understand just how their stress levels are, how high they are, right? And starting to recognize themselves at an earlier age, how they can release some of that burnout, or keep from getting burnt out, right? And us being able to notice it early so that they can start to slow themselves down and realize the stress is not going to do anything but make a person sick, you know?
Absolutely. Another aspect is more time for extracurricular activities. A truncated school day allows, well, more time. So these extracurricular activities are crucial for a child's holistic development. It can help cultivate social skills, creative ability, and physical well-being. And they also provide opportunities for discovering and nurturing talents outside of classroom settings. And when you think about it, adults, we go to work, but we also have outside interests. So it's really about how do we help the child thrive in their wholeness?
Yes, for sure.
So, Sparkle, from your professional perspective, why is it important for parents and students to understand the mental health of teachers that are on burnout?
All right, so check this. All right, you have what we call compassion fatigue that usually happens like in emergency rooms and so forth, right? But lately it's been happening to teachers, to coaches, to leaders, where we have this compassion fatigue that exhausts us and we don't even realize it's happening. So we have shorter tempers. We are remember I was kind of talking about that today, and like our ability to like not have any rest, and that our stress levels are extra high. So as teachers, you can only imagine if they're doing all of that, plus trying to make sure kids are okay, they have been burning out since the end of time. And it's extremely important that we understand that we talk about mental health in all of these other facets, in sports and everything else, but the teachers truly can get burnt out.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And I believe that as the teacher, me being a facilitator, I have to really pace myself with the amount of people in my classes, right? In order to maintain my freshness. And so that's why it would be really beneficial for teachers to be able to have a little bit of time away to refresh themselves so that they're actually training and teaching and giving some love instead of feeling like they're stressed. You know what I mean? Because it reflects on the student.
Yeah, I believe that it would be beneficial to have mental health days that people could take.
Yeah, the teachers need some backups. That's how Well, you guys, we would love to hear your questions or comments on progressive education. Now join our Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, and post. Okay, go ahead and post to us. We love to hear something there. And during our break, you guys, we will hear from the Ministry of Education in the UAE why they are using AI to tutor students Wow, that are not able to attend schools.
Love
Now, Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, and it's an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. Now, if you want to produce that franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, the mentoring, and the coaching to produce that show. So check out the website, and we will return.
The education system in the UAE is growing and moving very fast to prepare the students for the future. We're thinking of how can we support students outside the school and help the students who don't have access to private tutors.
So right after ChatGPT had come out, one of the things that the UAE really wanted to do was not just regulate like most countries in the world are doing, but really innovate. We're very excited by the AI Tutor project, where it can make sure learning happens anywhere and everywhere, provided to students of the country for completely free.
المميزات إنه it's available 24 hour وأيضا إنه يختبر الطالب ويسأله أسئلة على حسب السؤال اللي هو سأله.
I had an Arabic text where I put it in the system to check whether I have missed any grammatical issues, and it didn't fix it for me. Instead, it guided me to the process.
We use both Azure OpenAI and Azure Machine Learning to deploy the models for the AI Tutor project. We built something called PLMs, personalized language models. So over time, we're actually able to see how a student best learns, adapt to their strengths, their weaknesses.
It will help us offer our students personalized education.
Education is sort of ripe for disruption. We're very fortunate to find a partner like the UAE that's, wants to make that disruption happen at a national level.
This will help us solve for quality of education, equity, inclusion. Generative AI is here. It's already transforming how our students learn. It's a matter for us to stay relevant.
I think this technology has the potential to completely reimagine the way every single student learns in the world.
Oh, it was still ready to keep going.
It was. Yeah.
So, look at Angel said it was. Yeah. Well, welcome back to Every Child Can Learn. Now, if you're just tuning into the show, we have had a robust conversation on the progressive education. Now, Angela, here we go. Summarize. Okay, look, she said, here we go. Okay, so summarize what we have talked about today and give us a call to action on how to reimagine the broadened national curriculum in schools.
So we started off with Helen Keller and how she was a trailblazer in having people rethink disability and see ability in the person. And then we talked about several, we listed out the broadened national curriculum, but the videos that we showed were all about how AI can really change the landscape of a classroom. And it's different than, say, how a business might use AI or a coach might use AI. It's really about how can we reimagine AI so that it's actually supporting kids in their learning.
I think it's beautiful, wonderful summary. A lot of big things there. So with your professional advice, you have teachers who need smaller class sizes and suffer in silence due to mental health and burnout?
So my expertise is all in emotions, and burnout it's an aspect of emotion. So it's stress, and stress is overwhelm, and there's just so much going on. All I can say is breathe, because it's through deep breathing that you can bring in the hormones that will cause your body to calm down. So the Navy SEALs use box breathing. So breathe in for the count of 4, hold for 4, out for 4, and then hold for 4. And you just do that pattern several times, and it will actually lower your heart rate.
Yes.
It will actually decrease the cortisol in your body. So even giving yourself a moment to take those kind of risks can shift how you're feeling in that particular day.
I completely agree with you. The mental health aspect and the burnout aspect is to slow ourselves down, ask ourselves, how does it affect us, right? None of us want to be walking around exhausted like that. And times have changed, right, Angel?
They have changed, and
drastically, where it's okay to not be okay and take a second, right?
Absolutely. And when we say, we don't even realize how it affects us, it's actually affecting us and all the people around us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what advice do you have for schools that do not have progressive programs to enhance teachers' understanding of AI and AI technology?
I'm going to say they need to watch this show.
They got to watch the show.
Right.
Now.
My biggest suggestion is to watch the Every Child Can Learn show.
Yes.
Where you will learn about the different ways that AI can be used as a tool. And that is the key. AI as a tool.
Yes.
It's not for students to write an essay. It's not for students to, write their literature story for English.
Right.
What it is for is students to check on their grammar on what they wrote, or check on, is there a better way to say this? And these other aspects of AI that we've seen, reading help, and just so many different ways that the programs can be written to support students. Check it out. Just look into how can AI support students.
Exactly. Do your research. And then when you're going to go try to, do you sell this to the principals or do whatever or say it, explain why it's working. Show the research, do your work, and that way you can have something to back you up, right?
And we've talked about AI in the classroom on more than one program. So take a few hours to watch Every Child Can Learn, because you'll learn about it.
Yes. Once again, we'd love to hear you guys' questions or comments on progressive education. So don't forget to join our Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, and go ahead and post. We'll respond to you. Now, during our break, we will hear from students that are using AI Tutor and how it empowers them to make decisions on how and when to use AI. Remember, Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, and it's an affiliate of Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce a franchise show, Thriving Women Network provides the media, network coaching, training, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, visit our website at thrivingwomennetwork.com. We'll be back.
Three, two, one, two.
Hi, I'm the Synthesis Tutor, and I'm here to help you learn.
What? I love this idea. That seems interesting. This thing is smart. Let me test it. Oh, this is cool.
Seeing the big story in order to figure things out for themselves. That is the wonder and power of mathematics. And that's what I want to teach students.
Which direction might be the easiest?
Backwards.
I agree. I like that 50 plus 50 gives us 100.
Ooh. My strategy is add up to a number ending in zeros. 470.
Exactly. I'm impressed.
1,000. Yeah.
Well done. We can keep going with more groups of 10.
Oh, now I get it. Now 1 million.
Milton went extra wild. He called it a Googleplex.
Googleplex.
Do you still have energy for an extra one?
I'm gonna do one more.
What is the value of 63 quintillion times 0?
0.
Spot on. What if we hadn't invented the symbol 0?
I didn't know that 0 was that important. I just thought it meant nothing. That was really fun.
Great job. I can't wait for our next session. See you then.
I want to play with it.
Oh, a tutor, right? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we want to thank our Prime viewers from around the world for supporting today's mission to enlighten, encourage, and empower parents to recognize the impact of progressive education strategies that are reimagining education and making learning simple for children of all abilities. Now, we'd love to hear your comments on today's topics by joining our Facebook group, Thriving Women TV, and telling a friend. Now, you can watch recent episodes, especially those of you guys that are trying to find some newfound ways for AI and technology in your classrooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can watch recent episodes on demand at our Facebook group, E360 TV, and our website, www.thrivingwomennetwork.com. Yes, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I
Or
always
tell a fellow teacher.
tell a teacher to tell a teacher to tell another teacher. How's that sound?
There you go.
Okay, good.
Every Child Can Learn is sponsored by Thriving Women University, an affiliate of the Thriving Women Network. If you want to produce your own franchise show, TWN provides the media network training, coaching, and mentoring to produce your franchise show. For more information, visit our website. And don't forget to tune in to our show, AMP Sports, on Thursdays at noon EST, Amplifying Women's Sports.
Yes, and until then, we will see you guys next Wednesday. I'm Sparkle Lindsay.
And I'm Angela Lee.
We'll see y'all later.